Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tarot Talk Live. And we have another conspiracy theory, and this is going to be a little bit of a deeper dive. So, we're going to be looking at the Nancy Guthrie taking. Okay. This was not a kidnapping, this was someone taking someone. And what happened with her, we don't know, but the house knows. The house knows. And we are going to find out what the energy is around what the house knows. Okay. And we're going to play a game of who, what, when, why, where, and how. All right. So we will start with where. All right. So where around the house. Okay. So what is the energy around certain places of the house that may hold more information or energy than others? What are things that we need to be focusing on about the where? Okay, so let's just see what comes. We're going to pull from our collective oracle. I created these cards for us, for all of my channels. All right, so let's just see what we get here. Looking at where. Okay, so I have two things. Okay, so we have apology in the reverse. And we have they are just not too into you. And this is in the reverse. Okay. Get another one. We have temptation. Okay. Okay. Apology in the reverse. An energy of someone having no remorse. And then we have temptation. And they are just not too into you. And this is in the reverse. Okay, so some place in the house where someone frequented. This is an area where people were in and out of on a frequent basis. What area would that be? Temptation here. You think about temptation, you think about food. You think about food, you think about the kitchen. Something happened in the kitchen. Something took place in the area of the kitchen that is not being considered. Let's look at the deep, dark, and dangerous oracle here and see what else we get. So, where in the house matters? Well, this is interesting because this is acceptance. It came out in the reverse, acceptance. And it says HEL. If y'all want to look at that yourself, okay? Yeah. Acceptance in the reverse. Not accepting. Not being invited in. An energy of someone who is not welcome. And someone who came in a certain area and had no remorse. So they came into this area and did not have remorse. So just don't want to say it, but there could be a weapon that was obtained from this area. Let's see what else we get here. And then we'll look at the witching hour oracle deck. Okay. And this says disconnection. Disconnection. And the words there is Eos C. Let's look this up. So disconnection, this is a point of disconnect or something, disconnecting from something in this particular area, could it be? Let's see here. Let's see, what number is this? Is number 41. Okay, disconnection. Eos C. Respect the land and especially the land you live upon. Think about that. Respect the land and especially the land you live upon. Find comfort and joy in the changing of the seasons and the green places you come in contact with. You see all of the green here in the background, right? There's also a lot of green on this. Looks like a feminine energy here with her nose cut off. Okay. All right. Interesting that the nose is off here. And acceptance is in the reverse. This is someone who's putting up a fight, if you all know what I mean. And we have a theory of a particular injury which may have resulted in a nosebleed. Okay, so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. But oh my God, y'all. So listen to what this says here. It says, places you come in contact with, protect and defend Mother Earth. Oh my gosh. The next thing it goes on to say, before you attack someone, make sure you have all sides of the story. Okay? I feel with disconnection here, there was a major disconnect, or there's an energy of they didn't have all sides of the story before they went and perpetrated this attack. They didn't have all sides of the story. And so, why does the location in the house come into play? Well, maybe they never considered having to go into a certain area of the home. Maybe there's that. So it's pronounced Ace. I said Aos, but it's Ace City. Okay. City. Okay, so these are fae or fae-like creatures from Celtic and Gaelic mythos. Okay. Most likely, they are ancestors of the Tiatha de Danann, an ancient Celtic mythical race of deities, or the people of the goddess Danju or Danu, who were mentioned in the complex world of Irish mythos. In some ways, this is a tragic story, with the people being forced to retreat into the other land, a kind of parallel universe, to escape the coming of the mortal invaders from over the seas. Do y'all hear that? There was a need to retreat, okay, or escape into other places. They didn't intend on going in. So, like I said, once again, there was a particular area, and we saw the droplets of the reddish brown substance that was outside in the foyer area and inside the home. And it was right near the front door. I don't know in proximation of perhaps the kitchen or perhaps where it says they are just not that into you. This is an area where people frequented. So it would have been an area that people were in and out of often. Something took place. Someone lacked remorse. Someone was tempted, perhaps, to escape or try to get away. And some action may have been taken in this specific location. So think about this, you guys. Think about it and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments about this. Okay, so a tragic story. People being forced to retreat into the other land to escape the coming of the mortal invaders from over the seas. To survive, the AOCT found sanctuary within the gentle spaces between the human and other world, a place of fairy rings and forts, caves, and magic. Okay, and it goes deeper, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole here. However, you guys, it talks about milk here. Y'all listen to this. Milk dry up or you or your family kidnapped. Y'all, I kid you not. I kid you not. It literally says that. And then it says, never getting your human child back for your wrongdoing. I kid you not. That is what this says. Cow's milk. Having your home burned down or your cow's milk dry upon you or your family. or you or your family kidnapped. Y'all, I am not kidding right now what this is saying. Y'all, what in the heck? Y'all listen to this and I'm done because I cannot believe that this is what this says right now. And I'm talking about the kitchen. It says, listen, the best idea is to live harmoniously with the AOCD and be mindful of how and where you tread. Be careful of how and where you walk. Where, you guys, where you tread. There's something about tread marks that were left potentially in or near the kitchen or in or near an area where people frequently come in and out of. In the doorway. That is key, you all. Please listen to this. It goes on and this gets deep, y'all. I cannot believe that I'm reading this right now. But we pulled this card for a reason. It says being in simpatico, simpatico with nature. Okay, so I guess being in sync with nature and respecting all things is a good way to not get yourself into any trouble, accidental or otherwise. Even being respectful as to how you refer to them helps. For example, calling them the good people or the fair folk. It's important to leave little gifts and offerings, food, honey, flowers, cream, or precious stones out for the good people as a sign of respect at dawn and dusk. And these are the transitional times. I'm so tired of that. Sorry, guys. These are the transitional times when you are more likely to encounter them. The festivals of Midsummer, Beltane, and Samhain were special times for the AOCD, as they were times of profound change and magic for both humans and fairies, as people traveled along the roads towards the gathering places for the midsummer solstice. And it was said that the Fae were on the roads too, ready to lead astray those who did not respect and connect. Those that did not respect and connect with the land as they passed through it. Y'all, disconnect. So they disrespected the land and the people that lived on this particular land when they went through it. There was some sort of disconnect or disrespect that took place in this particular area, and a disconnect happened. Y'all. It says this was such a real phenomenon that some groups had someone awake or watch all through Midsummer's Eve who did not partake of the meal so that humans did not get carried off. Do you all hear that? It said not even partaking of the meal. Where are meals obtained? In the kitchen. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's just keep your eyes and ears open and you tell me what you think here. It says, we know that by respecting and connecting with the good people, many places in Ireland were never harmed, deforested, or paved over because of the myth of the AOCP and the mindset that came with trying to live in harmony with them. The conservation of green areas can only be a good thing and something they would approve of. Y'all. The crystal companion here is the amethyst, you guys. And the amethyst, if I'm not mistaken, is the birthstone of the same month that was Nancy's birthday. Keep that in mind. If I'm not mistaken, Nancy is an Aquarius. Y'all, that was deep. That is what I call deep, dark, and dangerous right there, okay? And 41 falls into the dangerous group. This acceptance in the reverse falls in the deep group, okay? And this is in the reverse. So this was not accepted. There was definitely fighting back. There was definitely some pushback. This was not expected, okay? This was not part of the plan. Going into these areas was not part of the plan. Okay, so we're going to now look at what here, okay? Let's look at the what. What took place that the house remembers? That's a deep and loaded question here, but we're going to go into it here. Looking at the Witching Hour Oracle deck. What took place that the house remembers? As I have hot flash coming over me. What took place that the house remembers? What is it that took place that the house remembers? Okay. Let's get one more here. Okay. So we have flying ointment. Let loose. Number 21. So we have a full moon here. Someone or something was let loose. Something this talks about going on an adventure. This also talks about people having fun, and the companion card is the Three of Cups. And this is number 21. 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay. Three of Cups is all about friends and family. Friends and family. And this witch doesn't have any clothes on. Okay. Just noticing a naked witch on a broom flying past the full moon with her hands in the air. May be a cliche, but there is a grain of truth in this image. and it is rooted in fun and going on a wild ride. A wild ride, folks. Fine ointments were thought to be rubbed on broom handles. Then witches would gather naked in fields to ride them. Drug compounds are delivered faster through the genital fluids, allowing for a quicker high. Interesting, y'all. That is too much. Over time, these stories of witches on brooms began to surface, which eventually led to the stereotype of witches who can fly. Mostly, it was just for a good time, a party, even. And so, this card is about having fun and doing something silly or strange. So, are we saying that something strange took place? Y'all? Was someone high or on something? Going on an adventure is sort of a metaphor for getting, or at least doing activities which offer a similar feeling, like skydiving or whitewater rafting or taking someone. But that's not what it says here. I just added that part. But it doesn't have to be dramatic, nor does it need to involve drugs. Anything can be an adventure with the right company and attitude. Y'all, this is an indication of travel. Consider a trip or relocating when you see this. So, what took place was some sort of travel. This could have been, someone could have been on something, or someone could have been just taking some sort of a risk in doing this. Someone could have been getting some sort of a rush out of doing this. Okay, so you can consider all things here. And then next we have Midnight Moth. 39. 9 plus 3 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. Once again, we have a 3. Midnight Moth. Distraction, y'all. I cannot. So what took place was someone letting loose, doing something risky, and also creating a distraction. Midnight Moth. You think about the moth, right? Getting burned by the flame. And you see the flame here, right? And there is a hand above, almost as though it is causing this moth to go in this direction. So a manipulating hand is coming from above. That this talks about something or someone from above causing or constructing this situation, perhaps. Just think about it. Just think about it. Distraction, following the wrong path, a need for change. And this is the companion of the moon. You have the 3 of Cups, and now we have the moon. Friends, family, and secrets. That is the what that took place, that the house remembers. and this moth going into the flame. It brings an urgent message, the midnight moth does. You are in need of a drastic redirection. This is your last stop before it's too late to turn back. You've been lured onto the wrong path by a beautiful but dangerous light. We all do it. We all compare our journey to someone else's. You might wonder what makes them so special, or how is it that they are always getting opportunities that never seem to make their way to you? The answer is that they are on their own path, which is completely separate from yours. You've been distracted, too focused on other people instead of taking the journey designed specifically for you or your soul. Your unique gifts have been hiding behind your attempts to be something you're not. Maybe you're dressing in style, not your own, but which makes you feel as if you fit in. Or decorating your home to fit a trend that isn't really your taste. It could mean doing things with friends that you would rather sit out, okay? Or changing your goals to make other people happy and more comfortable. Midnight Moth wants you to know that it's not yet too late to turn things around, but it could be very soon. It may not seem so, but others can intuitively pick up when someone is not being authentic. You may be in danger of losing out on something remarkable because you weren't showing up as yourself. And this is all about the what. Remember, the universe brings opportunities that are meant for who you are, not who others believe you should be. It says distractions may lead to devastating consequences, you guys. That's literally what it says here. Let's not get distracted. Let's not get distracted. We keep thinking that this was a taking, but I feel that something else far more sinister has taken place with Nancy. Okay? I think they went for purposes that are undefined at the moment, but that far worse things have taken place that maybe we're not considering. Maybe some of us have. Okay? Maybe some of us actually have considered those other things. Let's look at who. Who does the house remember? Any specific characteristics that stand out that we need to be aware of? Who? Okay. Who does the house remember? Who? I'm looking at the True Emotional Oracle deck here. Uh-oh. Oh my God. Okay. So let's just start here. A married couple? Two people that are married, perhaps? Okay. Are we talking about Nancy and her husband? Are we talking about A and T? Who? Oh, reckless love and smecks here. Reckless love. So who's married? Who has a reckless marriage or connection? Under the deck, we have legal matters here. And we have sweet talk coming right behind legal matters. And then we have feelings, and then we have bad credit and debt and unemployment. So perhaps a couple, two people that had some sort of money issues. Maybe there was some legal matters. Maybe there was trouble in the connection. There may have been some issues with debt. Sorry, guys, there is a gnat that I have to obviously eradicate because it is interfering with the overall reading. But someone had some feelings. Someone the house knows. The house knows. And there's something about a marriage and someone that had money issues. We're going to leave it at that. You tell me what you think, y'all. Tell me what you think. Let's see when. So what is the time of day or the time frame? What time of day or what time period was the house last occupied by Nancy? Something about the timing. So what is the when? What is the energy around when Nancy was taken from her home or when something occurred at Nancy's home? What is it about the when? WHEN, when. So we have sexy here, okay. All eyes on you. That's what's standing out to me here. Being watched. We have electronic, you guys. She was being watched electronically, which means online. Pay attention to when there are online references of Nancy being watched or all eyes being on the situation. Pay attention to the time frame and the electronic searches. Yes, electronic searches. Please, please, please. This is important. Wow. Okay. Let's look at the why. Why was Nancy's home involved? Why not any other home on that street? Why Nancy's? Okay. Why Nancy's? And let's look at what's the vibe here. Why Nancy's home? Longing here, okay? Missing you. Let's talk. And reunion. Wow. Okay. Let's talk and reunion. Missing you because she would be missed. Because she would, this is an energy of someone that someone would long for the most. This is someone that would be missed the most by a specific person. We have masculine energy in the reverse. There was no divine masculine. There was no one there protecting Nancy. There was no father figure present. There was no authority figures present. There was a lack of security. There was a lack of protection. That's why Nancy's home was the target location. That's why. That is why. That's why I know this was targeted. Let's get to how. How did people involved with Nancy's taking get into the home? How did people involved with Nancy's taking get into the home? How did they get in? Okay. See, this is what I don't like. Backstab. Deception. Firestorm. Karma. Drama, endings, loss. A karmic, someone that Nancy knew. This was a backstabbing or someone who is deceiving her. We have spiritual here. Once again, this is all about a downward spiral, somebody who is just involved in a lot of chaos. Okay. Yeah, this is all about someone who's having some sort of a mental spiral or a mental breakdown. And then we have some sort of deception. Karmic, this is someone that she knew. I feel like there was someone that she knew that had two sides to them. Do you see what I'm saying here? Like, this is someone that changed, they turned very quickly, but they were able to get in by a deception, by deceiving. Oh my God, y'all, look at this DNA. Could it be that it was by way of someone in her family. I'm telling you right now. You let me know what you guys think about all of this. Okay? Use your judgment, use your discernment, your intuition. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of these questions. Where, what, who, when, why, and how. Tell me what you think. Guys, hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you on the next conspiracy.